Hello, everybody. I am official Mystic Veil. To all ones who watching this short clip, you're only listening to more like a little or the many things are going around you on a daily basis that you do not know. If you're curious of the full video of this clip, go to www.youtube.com/officialmysticveil1. There you can watch the full video and watch everything and what's going on into this video and things around you. A lot more going on than just into this one small clip. Again, there would be www.youtube.com/officialmysticveil1. Yeah, go over there, watch the full video. It's a lot of things are going on. We've been covering different types of control, dark control, different types of moves are been put on you and you are not aware of those. So these are more some of the things we be going over today. All right, first chapter, mental pressure. Now, as you be going out your days and night, you may feel more like some pressure, more like on your head at different times. And to be filling up your motion from this thing to that thing, and you're not sure more like what is going on. Well, when you're feeling the different emotion overwhelming you with different emotion, putting different types of pressure on you, from more like from this thing to that thing, and it could be more like things from more like your past. It could be more like things more like new to you. And other more like feelings you cannot explain of these different emotions, more like crashing down, making you feel down, drippy, sad, and so many different types of emotion and make you feel down, weary, depressed, and they really more like mess up your day. Now, if you someone been feeling like this for many years, like day one, and your emotion just goes up and down. Well, if it's like this, then more like this is ringing into more of the natural category. On this section, you need to do some spiritual work on yourself so you can gain more control of your emotions. It really helps out, and there are plenty of ways just to do spiritual work to gain more control of your emotions out here. But if these emotion more like you now starting to feel right now out of the blue, then there's a very high chance you got more like a negative one spirit or negative one psychic around you right now, are forcing you to feel these emotions you're not used to feeling. Like literally trying to feel, get you to feel this thing and that thing. All the depression more like move, different swing over your mind from one section to the next section, having your mind and yourself spin around and you don't know what's going on. So yes, if more like if you now just not feeling it, or more like you start feeling more like yesterday or last week or last month or even last year, these different emotions out of the blue, then yes, you got more like a negative spirit or psychic around you. If it's not something like you've been feeling like day one and now all of a sudden you're feeling it, or you went to your spiritual awakening and then more like a couple of months later you start to feel it, then yes, that is not a natural thing for you to want to be feeling these new type of negative emotion around you. But no matter more like it's natural or unnatural, there are different ways that you can get more control of your emotion. There are ways to get out of this depressing state more like others has forced on you to feel this stuff. Now, if it's a emotion as well is taking you down, you have minutes to get over it into the past, and now you start to feel these emotions and feeling rising again, especially you already been to this path, you already more like has conquer this all the way down, then also you feeling it now, then again that could be more like a negative spirit, negative more psychic who literally more like dug into your memory section and then more like fountain this and forcing this down. So definitely be aware of this feeling coming over your body, not natural, and you never need to be definitely aware whenever more like you start feeling these emotions. So definitely more like do some spiritual work to definitely get more control, more like of those mixed up negativity, depressed motion that get you thinking and feeling a whole lot of different things, and it can really drag you down the whole entire day. Now, if you wake up more the next morning still feeling that way, again, the same thing more is going on with you. More like a negative spirit and negative psyche is forcing you to feel that and trying to get you to continue feeling that way. The next day, you should feel more fresh the next day, not continue feeling that same feeling again. All right, that brings us to the next chapter. Emotion manipulation. When you get hit with these emotions, you will feel sad, angry, and at times hopefulness, literally hopefulness, for no apparently clear reason, hit you out of the blue. Don't different emotion making you feel like that. Definitely be aware anytime any type of emotion like that hits you, no matter it's daytime or nighttime. Definitely be aware of that, because the emotion one just comes out of the blue. These are one of the many different attacks. You be getting hit by these negative spirits around you and negative psyches around you, forcing you to feel these feelings when there's nothing more adding up to you to feel it in the first place. So definitely be aware of that. Anytime these things like happening to you, you gotta more like wondering where these emotions are coming from, because they're not more like adding going by your past actions. They just like hitting you out of the blue. That is not a natural thing. You need to more like again get more control of your emotions when it comes down to all these some sadness feelings. Definitely want to do some spiritual work, some good spiritual work, and groundedness with you as well. So definitely do both of those. When it comes down to more like the different emotions and sadness come over you, not a natural thing. You don't want to be feeling that stuff. So if you're at your job or you're more like someone else's place, so you just at your own more like place, feeling these emotion, you need to more definitely get some control of yourself, and definitely get a lot of control, and definitely find out why and how you are feeling these. You need to look more like outwards. You need to look inwards, especially inwards, or more like where these emotions coming from. And you should be more like find where it's at. But you definitely need to do some spiritual work to really help out with this situation. Now, feeling these emotions won't come over you like that. More like that negative one spirit is definitely trying to get you to do something right then. And in this case, trying to get you to more like not to do something more like positive for yourself. So definitely like find out what it is and what section it is. Again, you need to do more some good more spiritual work to really help out with this topic. And then be aware whatever topic it is you find, they're more like lean to more the positive side of that topic. And yes, so definitely be aware of that. Yeah, they will try to more like switch different emotion, because when you do feeling different emotion, these emotions automatically have action behind there, and once them action hits and hit in the right way they want, they're more like they got you in so many different ways. So definitely be aware of these different emotions, random emotions hitting you out of the blue for no apparent reasons. All right, that brings us into the next more chapter. Confusion and doubts, making you second and third guess on your decisions on things in your life and things before you even do them. And as well, draining you out of more like energy, positive energy. So this is indeed more like a topic needs to be covered. Now, if you someone more like have a clear mind, and they're more like out of the blue, more like you start to feel more like confused about this and confused about that, then you start to second your thoughts, basically more like your opinions are strong. Well, that is not natural. You should not be on second and third more like your guesses and thought, especially more like going by your past, your opinions and stuff are strong, you should automatically have a strong opinion on that. But if you're someone do not more like have solid more like opinion on different topics and things, then there are ways to more like help you out in that section to do more like be more precise. And definitely you need to more like a meditated time to really more like focus on precisely on the correct decision in life and stuff. But if you start feeling more like emotion and feelings just come out of the blue more like through you or in you or throughout any part of like your brain, confusing on topics that is not confusing. A well good example more like if you're hungry and you want to more like go to the kitchen and more like you want to eat yourself more like some fruit. Now you shouldn't like feel at all more like confused, more like to eat that fruit. That fruit is healthy and you're hungry. So naturally that is a easy no-brainer thought. Just go to the kitchen and go and get that fruit. So yes, this is just more like a easy, more like example of that. Now, yeah, anytime when you hit with stuff like that, that is not natural. You shouldn't be confused on easy topics like that. Yeah, that is a easy topic, and you should easily know if you should do it or not do it. Naturally, this is a yes. It's fruit.
Why is
Yes,
this so
topics like that
confusing?
shouldn't be
I
confused
just
at
don't
all.
know
More
what
like
to do.
naturally basic
Should I
topics
trust my
you go
gut?
to on a daily basis.
Every
But
option
new
feels
topics,
wrong.
they are confusing. There are better ways to more like to handle that, and as well to train yourself to handle new situations in life to make them less confusing. So if you're not a confusing person, then that's different. Or if you're not a confusing person, if you are a confusing person, there are definitely some ways and you can direct more like train yourself to be less confusing all the different more like thoughts and things out here. Now these negative more like a spirit can a little bit more like interact more like your actual thought process, and as well more like make a normal thing confusing for you. So then be aware more like if you are not someone is confusing a lot, and then all of a sudden you start confusing. If it is like that for you, then that is not a natural thing. But if you someone confuse a lot of things in life, then that's in the natural category. But it can definitely more like be helped if you more like you spend the time, the work, research, and directly do some spiritual work, and as well more like getting more solid, more like instinct about these things, about more like you should put more trust into your opinion. Putting more trust in your opinion is a very important thing when it comes down to more a confusing person and a not confusing person. So directly more like do some spiritual work and put more trust on your opinion. So yes, there are other things to do, but yeah, there are ways to more like to work more like through this. No matter if it's a natural thing or not a natural thing going on with you when it comes down to these emotion more like coming over you, or if it's a new emotion more like coming out of the blue more like a any part of more like your brain, that is a non-natural thing. So be aware of that spot it is, write it down, and as well more like if you don't feel like right now, get yourself a video recorder. Video record more like that actual spot of the brain more like it fit in, because that is a target section behind more like that negative more spirit or psychic more like is targeting it to force you to feel that section. That section can feel on that spot and spread across more like your whole brain. And then after that, they're gonna go over your body. Then you start feeling doubts and confusion and other emotional drains. So yes, definitely do some spiritual work on that. So anyway, there are ways to definitely help you out on that topic. All right. Okay. Now that brings us into the next chapter is 4 here. And that would be energy drain. Now this will indeed make you feel tired, unmotivated to do things, and as well mentally exhausted to more like do that next task, whatever you about to do next. When you feel these negative emotions come over in your stuff, more like Write down each and every bit of that motion as detailed as you can, from different layers, different vibrations, different sections. Write it down.
I
Definitely
can't
write
keep
every
going like
bit of it
this.
down. And then as well, more like if it's a
Everything is just
task you're
draining
doing,
me,
if it's very stressful,
but I have to
definitely take a
try.
break at time to help you out.
I can't
Do
keep
something more
going
like
like this.
relaxing. More like play some
Everything is just
relaxing
draining
music.
me,
This will help out. Do these
but I have to
things,
try.
especially if you're working on a task. But if it's more like something on a daily basis, if it's not stressful, then that's not a natural thing. You should more see feel energy drainers from you if you're just doing normal stuff. Example, you relaxing this day, you're not doing too much, you are catching up more like on your TV shows and movies, and all of a sudden you feel energy drained for just doing that. That is not a natural thing. You shouldn't be feeling these things over of an unstressful situation. If you feel things of the unstressful situation or unstressful environment, again, these are signs that is definitely unnatural. Other things are going on with you. But if it's something more like you're trying to catch that deadline and trying to make sure more like everything is right the quarter way you want them to be, then yeah, that is the natural thing. But if it's not like that, you are hitting things that is unnatural. Definitely identify which one is which, if it's natural, unnatural. Both ways is there are many ways to help you out on any end, natural or unnatural, when it comes down to energy drain. Of course, as well, more like be aware more like different things, like different more like people, like energy vampires. They do more like can bring you down as well, and as well more like the energy vacuum technique more from the ears from the negative spirits and psychics, and it feels just like more like energy is draining from your ear. You can feel it, you can hear it. The more they try to drain, the more you can feel and hear, and it definitely can feel the energy. And it has a little kind of sound to it as it goes up, and the more they try to drain, you start to feel more like negative, more like pain as well from more like your ear. So if you want to know more about more like energy drain, I do got that more like in one of my other videos. You can check that out. I go more deeper than on this video. I go definitely more deeper about that. So definitely check out more like that video on my on this more like this channel here. Definitely you need to be aware if it's a natural energy drain going by the tasks and stuff and the stuff you're trying to hit. And of course, if it's definitely unnatural, underneath unnatural conditions, definitely be aware that it's going to really help you out to help out your problem here. Okay, that brings us to number 5 chapter here. And that would be fear amplification, turning small worries into big fear. Now, it could be something real small with, well, it's not that small, but here goes an example of it. Like you go to the refrigerator and then more like you want your bowl of cereal, and then more like you recognize this milk has been expired, and that is more like in the category of worrying thing, but it's not that big. Especially more like it's so much milk around the world, and it's different brands, different more like milk out there. So, and cooling is not more like as big as some other topics in your life. But with fear amplification, which is the name of this attack, these are negative spirits and negative psychic directly more like force that small little thing that spoiled milk into something more tragic, into like way more bigger than more like milk. Whatever on your top list, you can take that category and bring it all the way up to the top of that. If this somehow happens, more like that is definitely 100% unnatural. You shouldn't feel so strongly, intensely fearful of a spoiled milk and all things. You shouldn't feel like that. So if when your emotions start crossing up more like with something more like is like milk to something more seriously that can happen in your life, then you need to more definitely be aware of those actions more happen to you. So be aware more like anything small like that is an increase. Now at the same time, more like if you someone been like this out your life and you more like you feel this type of fear of comes over you more over a small thing, from this small thing to that small thing. Well, there are plenty of more like ways to help you out in that section as well. More like it leans more into the natural category, but you can get out of that so you don't feel that way. And towards these things, you can feel you can feel the way you're supposed to feel on small things like that, like spoiled milk. So yeah, there are many ways to more like get the right help. But just like in the last time I've been saying more like in this video, you need more like be aware of which one it is. Is it more like natural or unnatural? If you was born like that, then there are ways to reduce that fear all the way down to you don't fear more like spoiled milk at all. Like literally all the way like completely you don't feel no spoiled milk. You treat it like it's well, it's spoiled milk. But so yes, then be aware of that. Now if you someone start to fear this motion like a few years ago or a year ago or a few months ago or last week or even today, you just start feeling these random like fear of small things, then yes, these feelings are directly forced on you, and that is not a natural thing. And cool, it's not a natural thing. It can still more like it's still butchered here. There are ways to more like to help you out on any type of way, more like if it's natural or unnatural. So you should definitely be fully addressed of these things, because you shouldn't feel so strongly of small things. If it's something strong in your life, then it's different. You should definitely feel something of it, as in some type of motion from it. But when it comes down to fear, just period. So yes, no matter more like it's something like that, more like no matter how small or big the fear is, there are ways to train yourself and have more control of whatever the fear is. So even if it's something small, you won't feel no fear from it. If it's something big, well, you still won't feel no fear from it. But fear is can be used in so many different ways. So no matter how much fear you want to feel over anything, there are ways to feel the fear well the way you want to fear, or according to on the actual action that's happening towards you. There are ways to have more control of the fear, to fear something the way you supposed to, or don't fear nothing at all when it comes down to like spoiled milk. So yes, there are ways to definitely help you out, no matter it's natural or unnatural. All right, on that note, that brings us into the very next chapter, which is chapter 6, distraction controlled. Pulling you away from your focus and goals and growth in life. Be aware more like any time you feel this feeling come in between anything you are doing, when you're working on more like anything in your life, like you're working on something right now. If you feel something feeling comes up trying to get you to go to the kitchen to get something to eat when you're not hungry, or trying to get you more to check on something when it don't need to be checked, or to more like to just go outside when you don't need to go outside right now, or you just more like need to just check on anything that do not need checking, need your attention now. Feel that feeling more like comes in the back of more like your brain, the upper section, or to the front, any section you can actually detect it. Be aware of that section comes up trying to get you to stretch it. Be aware of that feeling. When you feel that feeling, feel that feeling. Definitely feel that energy pulling to you more like to distract you off of the very task you are doing right then. Whatever it is, definitely want to be aware of it. Be aware of the different volume, because this volume that you feel in that pulling feeling, it can be more like you can barely feel it or not feel it, or you can easily feel it. all determine how much more like you feeling, determine more like what is going on to distract you. So then be aware anytime you feel that feeling. Now, speaking about more like this feeling on this, just like a lot of these topics, the negative more spirits and psychic can get involved in your life like that, literally forcing you to more like to be distracted on different things, the little small thing, getting you to get up here and there. So if you feel a little, they can increase it, or they can just put it on you, period, to literally put it right on you to more like get you try to do this and do that. So they will increase the feeling at different categories and different sections. To a section you don't know how to feel, to a easy section, or a section is very, very, very aware of. It's unnatural. It's pulling you very bad. You feel a thick energy pulling you to more at certain item they want you to go at to get off whatever you doing right then. Get off the task. Or you just someone trying to grow better at a certain thing, try to stretch you more before you even more like start. More like and pin on you, that does it for you. Or they more like to go at you in between whatever you're doing, trying to pick different self-doubts not to do it, quit. More like just leave it alone, do something else. You can do something better your time. So then be aware of these categories of distraction, feeling, and emotion coming through you and stuff. So yes, it's definitely more like you gotta be aware of it, and definitely like reject, say no, build your real power up, and definitely reject more like this stuff. Definitely want to be aware of when it's happening, and be aware of what section of your head is happening. If you feel it coming from the right, be aware of it. If it's coming from the left, be aware. If it's coming from above, be aware. If it's coming from the back, be aware. Whatever direction it is, if you feel something pulling you to more like do this and that, and you feel the source of the actual section they're using, right there, be aware that usually when these spots are there, more like this a negative spirit, negative psychic, more like is behind that section. Now, if you don't feel nothing at all, well, that could be more like a little different. That could be more like they could be dealing 50-50, or it could be some bad habits you more like you built over the years. If it's something like that, you can more like definitely more like build up your willpower strong enough that be that won't pop up at all, with some spiritual work there. Now if you after you get past that, after you do your spiritual work, you no longer feel these things put on you in that way. If it still more like pops up, then that's definitely more like a negative spirit, psychic, more like doing that to you. So then be aware of that, and be aware more like if you're taking any type of drugs as well to knock off your focus. Be aware of that. Drugs and different foods that eating, and that can more like knock you off as well. Now that's more in the natural category. So avoid certain drugs and avoid certain foods that more like really mess up more like your focus and your own tasks and stuff. Yeah, definitely be aware of that and more. Okay, that brings us into the next chapter, which is chapter 7. There'll be isolation push, making you feel alone and as well distance from other around you. If you somehow feel that feeling comes over you, more like you need some real distance from between people, or you really more need to be isolated, and that feeling more like to not to get involved with this, involved in that, and just be more like just very isolated. So yes, if you feel like that, this can come over you more at different times, over different times in your life. If it's something more like happening in your life, more like some down stuff, then that's more in the natural category. More if you just feel like you need to be isolated, get yourself some self time. But if it's nothing more like bad happened to you, or you don't need more like your own personal space time to be by yourself, if it's nothing like these two, if it's something more like you just really feel like you should be isolated from everything, and I mean a long time, you're not You don't feel like you need to do no spiritual work. You just really feel like that pull. That could be more like a unnatural, especially more like if you're someone more like go out there often. If you someone always going to different parties and places and having yourself a good time, but if you're someone that like staying to the house a lot, well you probably don't feel like that at all if you're someone staying indoors. It's a difference between more like those two different things. But if you someone just literally just feel forced, like you can feel forced to be isolated. If you feel a certain force against you to be isolated alone, that is unnatural. That definitely can be more like a from negative spirit, negative psychic, forcing you to be isolated for to make sure you don't have certain communication with more like new people and other people, because different people can only help you out in different ways, and negative spirits and psychic don't want you to get that extra help around you, so they definitely want to force that isolated feeling on you. So definitely be aware if more like if it's natural or unnatural. Yeah, and it makes a difference more if you someone like to go off and someone don't like to go off. But if you just feel like even if you like to stay more like at your house and chill a lot, you do have that time or like you want to go off at time. If you feel like you feel like you're getting more isolated and you shouldn't more like go, definitely might be aware of that feeling. Especially more like if it's nothing more like very depressing going on in your life. Definitely be aware any time this come over you. But no matter if it's natural or unnatural, there are ways to more like get yourself more involved with more people, and as well more like do some spiritual work so this fear don't come over you. So there are different ways as to more to deal with this on so many categories and so many different levels. All right. That brings us into the next chapter, which that would be chapter 8, sleepy influence that makes you feel sleepiness, drain, or restlessness. Now that feeling can come over you at different times or different nights, especially when it's been forced on you from more like a negative one spirit or negative like a psychic who forced this feeling on you. The very feeling itself, more like a feeling sleepiness, that sudden stage you feel it comes over. You know when that comes over, you more like you're starting to feel more like sleepy. This as well can be forced on you as well. And that tired feeling you feel can be forced on you. And that restless feeling like you haven't got enough rest that day or night, this as well can be forced on. Both can be forced on you. If you have been getting the right amount of sleep for your days and nights, and then you feel this stuff come over you when you have not did no extra on work, you haven't did no extra things that day, and you are very more fresh, then more it comes over you. That is not natural. So then be aware more like this feeling is been forced on you. Especially more like it's a very energetic, bright, sunny day, and you got your amount of sleep, and you ate more like your healthy breakfast, and you want something more like healthy. And yeah, you seem like be feeling those feeling more like being forced on you by negative spirits and negative psychics. Now, if you have not been getting your right amount of sleep, then yes, you're gonna feel these emotions and stuff come over you. And if you've been taking more like certain types of drugs out there, this as well more like will cause it as well, more like the different more like feeling coming over you. But if you ain't been taking drugs and you haven't been overly working yourself, then yes, it's not natural to feel the emotion come over you. So definitely be aware of that. There are ways to more like a fight against these forced feelings against you trying to more like get you to go to sleep. There are indeed ways, naturally or unnaturally. So definitely be aware of that. Okay, that brings us into the next chapter, which is okay, we're going into the next spiritual attack you're not aware of, which will be chapter 9, overly thinking trap. Yes, and here they do a lot of things to you as well. when you're not aware of them. So,
Overthinking traps you in a loop of doubt. It paralyzes you with endless what ifs. This cycle stops you from moving forward. Break the cycle. Take the first step.
now this will go on and on and on with you if you're definitely not aware. So you definitely gotta get yourself out of this loophole, thinking trap. And this can happen more like on a whole lot of different things and tasks in your life. So when you are aware of it, it helps you to get out of it. So that more like be aware when this loop is happening on any type of tasks or things you do in your life. This is more like a trap to make sure you don't progress in life. So then be aware of it. Now, of course, more like the negative one spirits and psychic can more like put you in a loophole as well, messing with your memories and cause you to do a little loophole. So when this happens, be aware of it. It really helps you to press forward in life and things. Yeah, so that is one of the problems here, not being aware of these things happening. So yes, if you're not aware, there are some spiritual work you can do to get you out of that loophole, to be aware. Once you get aware, a lot of things else start to more like click in place. If you do not click in place, there are still ways to help you out with that too. So then be aware of this overly thinking trap that can be happening to you right now. All right, on that, we be jumping into the very next chapter, which is chapter 10. Confidence attacks, making you doubt yourself and your abilities. So when you be hitting with this, a feeling come over you, and you're doubting yourself of your ability to feel and get done any type of task. Yes, directly more like push forward when it comes down to these tasks. That feeling more like a push that aside and get that job done, no matter how bad it feel over your mind. Get it done, especially something positive. Definitely get that task done. Definitely more like a over push forward and overpower that feeling. Definitely more like a keep pressing forward when that negativity attack come across your mind. So definitely more like a push forward. Now, when it comes down to this confident attack, now this attack can be as well force on. Like a long list of other things on this list here I've been talking about can be forced on. Now, if it's something more like it's very easy to do, like go to the kitchen and get yourself a bottle of water. Now, this is in the easy category. If you feel like your confidence dropped in just doing something this basic, easy task, then again, this is a huge red flag. A negative spirit, a negative mind psychic is forcing you, trying to get you to believe you can't do something that basic. So if you feel anything like that, that's not natural. Now, there won't have to be something down as basic as that. It could be something, anything that you think is very easy to do. So be aware anything in your life is very easy to do, and you know you can get it done with just a snap, or maybe take you a little time, but still it's not that hard to do, and you start more having your confidence be going up and down. Yeah, that little force adjustment they're trying to do, that is a negative spirit and negative psychic trying to force you to feel in that way. So then be aware of it's natural or unnatural. If it's a new task you never did it before, well, that's different. If it's something old you did multiple times and now you having that feeling, yeah, this is huge flag that is unnatural, and that could be a negative spirit, negative psychic. It's forcing you to trying to stop you to doing whatever task it is. So definitely be aware of that. All right. Now we're going to be jumping into the next chapter 11. Emotional numbness, blocking your feelings so you feel empty. When if your feelings start to more be depressed, and you no longer might feel the way you normally feel, and then you feel like different sections you would feel but now you don't feel, or even now more like your awareness, if it's feeling like numbness as well, or you feel any numbness on the brain, These are more attacks from more these negative spirits and psychics trying to numb your brain, fucking do more different things on you. So definitely be aware more any type of numbness feeling you feel. It's not more like natural to more like to feel numbness, or more like your feelings itself be more like down. So you normally feel something when it comes down to different things you come across, for more like pictures, different activities, TV shows, movies, just having yourself a good time driving, or more like or going outside, taking more of that good air in, and feeling the good sunlight, or feeling that good more like moon, more like a bounce off your actual skin, feelings like this, and as well other more like the awareness feelings more like you normally detect, more like it's numbness down. So these feeling like numbness down, that is more like it's them as well, more like depressing them, no feelings to more like to do different things to you, and as well more like be real close to very sensitive sections of the brain. So don't be aware if you feel any numbness feeling. Yeah, they're definitely not natural want to be feeling any type of numbness feeling. Okay, we have got done with another chapter. That brings us to the very next chapter. That'd be chapter 12. Impulse control, pushing you towards bad habits and poor decision in life. So when you feel those impulse more like feelings, to more like to do this thing or do that thing or do this thing, I mean, you know, more like those bad decisions. You need more definitely be aware of all those feeling more like when they pops up. To more do these little things that you know it's not more like a good decision. These impulse controls can happen at different times around you. So if you do some spiritual work and make yourself be more aware, you'll be more aware when these things happen. This is gonna help you out to make the correct decision more easier than you normally make them. So yes, you need to more definitely do some spiritual work and bring your awareness up. Now these are impulse more like control. They can be as well be done by the same thing I had mentioned so many times in this video. By these negative like spirits and psychics can be more like forcing you concentrate on certain section of the brain, just like in this picture here. You see these sections of the brain more like is all light up here. Where do find a spot more like in your brain, concentrate there, and try to force more like sudden impulse for you to do things. So definitely more like be aware of any section more like decide to pick. If you find a spot, write it down. That's your spot. And as well more like you don't feel like writing it down, talk about it onto a video recorder. And wherever spot it is, you need to more like a memorize this spot so you can do some spiritual work there. Now there are a lot more spots than it is more like is in this picture here when it comes down when they are doing things. So definitely like go out to these spots. One spot more like they really like the target more like the crown chakra. That is one spot. The next is more like the third eye. So definitely look at these spots and these other spots you see in this picture here. So be aware any impulse stuff they're trying to more like get you to do different things in your life leans into that negativity side, no matter whatever it is. So that be aware of that. Now at time more like when the certain feeling more like don't more like work for them, you try to literally more force the you to do these certain things. Like literally you'll feel a negative energy is trying to lean you to do this or lean you to do that. It's a negative like feel. If you do not feel these feelings, you need to more bring your awareness up. This is going to help you with these impulse control tasks. And as well when they start more attacking you as well, it doesn't matter what part of the body, they do be attacking you as well. The little small little things on your hands, feet, nose, legs, wherever the part at. They are definitely trying to get you to do something. And it could be more anything. So that more be aware of any more these attacks and impulse control attacks more like to be doing on you. Be aware of these and a long list of many other things similar like this. Okay, we have definitely made it to all the different chapters for more like this video. That brings us to the next thing. Bonus. Now, if you're more like walking one day normally, doesn't matter more like you're walking more like around your house, outdoors, in town, at your job, or anywhere, just walking normally. And then all of a sudden, more like you feel a certain pain come over more like your hip or your joints. If you ain't been doing nothing extreme that day, that is another attack from a negative spirit and psychic. So then be aware that this attack more like is another one attack when they're trying to get you more to do things, try to more like the it's part of the revenge, and at time it's part of more like the person bandana. So if any more like part of your body more like is feeling something it shouldn't feel, that's not a natural thing. That is an unnatural thing. So that might be aware anytime more like you feel anything more like that come over you. Be aware more like as you more like be thinking, then more like all sudden more like something more like depressed, more like you're thinking there, and more like that is not natural as well. That's a negative spirit and psychic as well, depressing that. You don't want them to be more like depressing, more like different things, more like about you. When you're talking about different things, and they be doing a whole lot of other things as well. Now, at the same time, when you talk about things during the thinking section, you could be more talking about one thing, then they would do press one thing, then they're going to overly press. So to be literally more like one negative spirit or psychic pressing one thing, they're going to go over the other one, and what they're pressing, they're going to have the information right above, but they're going to keep it from coming from your mouth, like literally. They're going to literally like try to hold you down directly in your face in another way. If you experience anything like this is another one of the many attacks they like to do on you. So then be aware of this double team attack directly in your face. A lot of these things they don't do alone. They do work into more like pairs. More like pairs and groups. So they don't like literally do one thing alone. So then be aware of anything they are doing on you when it comes down to these long list of different things, more like the negative spirits and psychics do on a daily basis. A lot of people don't talk about some of these things, more like other people say more like these other things out here doing these things like demons. I don't speak about demons on this channel for many reasons. I've been spiritual awakened for a decent amount of time. And out of my decent amount of times, all these negative actions and things more like been done to me and things I've been seeing and changes, I haven't came across more like not one single demon in my time. And I've been spiritual awake for a good while. Not long as some, but at the same time more like a good while. So a lot of the things like other people might be pointing to more like, oh, that's a demon and that's a demon. No, that's a negative spirit or negative psychic. They try to give the illusion they are more like demon. Even the vibration at time they are on demons. So no, that is not more like a demon. More like you feeling that negative feeling that negative vibration. No. That is more like a negative one spirit or negative one on psychic. So definitely be aware of that. You do a whole long list of many things out here. A long list of many things. And I caught them in a long many things. Yeah, and even when I caught them with these pants down. Literally, pants down. So yes. It's a lot of more like a scam going around here, but one of the biggest scam of all, what's going on between the physical world and as well more like the spirit world. One of the biggest scam I have came across right in front of your eyes. So then be aware of these stories you hear more like saying, oh, that was a demon. Oh, it was that. No. I haven't came across nothing like that. And I definitely went to the spiritual awakening thing, and once you spiritual awake, you more like you no longer see things how the world and others want you to see things. You see things how they really are. And it is really more like change, more like your world, your universe, all the way around. Everything changes around you once you see things how it really are, not how people want you to see them, or want you to see other things. So they more like be aware of that. You are depending on who it is out there, they won't want to say certain things, or they'll say maybe a little nugget here or nugget there. Maybe they give you a little bit more nugget, but it's usually more like some piece, more like usually missing of what they be saying. Now, them things and reason why they don't say them things, they got their reason. No reason do not apply to me. What they don't say, I will say. So yes. So yeah, that's one big difference between my channel and most people's channel when it comes down to these topics. So yes, they do a whole lot of things. And yes, it can mean might be all kinds of that. Now, another thing is more like if you somehow um, talking about them like I'm talking about them right now, or you're talking about them with someone. If these somehow attack you on any section on your body, whatever the topic is, you are hitting pay dirt. And pay dirt with what you want to be with them. You won't be on the grass or the rocks or the sand or the dirt. You want to be right on pay dirt. And pay dirt where it's at. Same thing when you play that game of dot. You won't want to be on the different rings of the cutter. When you're playing, you want to be right on that bullseye. Same thing with them. You want to be right on pay dirt. And when they start attacking you, you hitting pay dirt. So definitely want to remember how you say it and what section you say, because you definitely want hitting a nerve with them in another way. And that's where you want to hit with these different negative one spirits and psychics. Like they do a whole lot of things a lot of people are not talking about. So them be aware of that. And of course, more like you cannot trust them from different categories, different levels, different reason as well. So yeah, they do want to be stealing more like your energy a lot and be using your energy against you. Of course, for them, they would say that is power. So yes, them be aware if they trying to more like steal your power or try to make different deals to get your power. So them be definite aware of that. So yes, definitely not natural, and you should definitely be aware of these things and more. Now, when you're talking and you feel like something is in between your talking, more like depressing you, more like trying to rush you, more like different vibration has been added, more things just sound wrong coming out of your mouth. These are more signs they are in between, more like you're talking. And you don't want them between your talking, so you got definitely more like do some spiritual work to more like to take care of that. You need to do some good groundedness to help you out. There are some other things as well, but groundedness do help you out with a long list of many other things can help you out. When it comes down to more like that. Now, these negative spirits and psychic can literally more like move your body, like literally, and I mean as intact move you. There are times more like I meditate, and when I meditate, they go into more like a concentrated attack. And this attack is a charge attack. If you play the game on like Street Fighter, it got charge characters in there. One of the characters more like is Gaia. He's a charge character in there. And the negative one spirits and psychic, they will charge you up more like the attack. And wait when you are very vulnerable, and then they'll go for the attack. And they can they're like doing my case more like when I meditate. So I'll be meditating and they'll go for the attack, like literally for the attack. And my body had moved so many times, and I can easily feel the negativity and the vibration around me when it's attack. So So yes, that's definitely not natural. I heard more like stories, more like a dude, more like summoning more like a demon, and he was more like doing some enchantment. Then more like he get knocked over the room and stuff, and I'm more like knocked over the room. At the time, nothing like that happened to me. But one day, more like I was meditating, and as I more like was meditating there, they literally more like knocked me down from more like or before I more like say how far they knocked me down. I was doing stand up meditation there, and I does this more like for multiple reasons, So one of the reasons more like I even do more like stand up meditation, going by the when I sit down, you ready to go on for the attack, hit me with more like different, more like sleep on category like eye drizzle 1, eye drizzle 2, eye drizzle 3, and dream category. Each drizzle is the feeling more like you feel like that sleepiness. Eye drizzle is the first stage of more like sleep. Eye drizzle 2 is the second stage. Eye drizzle 3 is more deeper. The fourth one more like that's just more like you into the dream category. So that's more what these drizzle means. I call them drizzles. But yes, when I more like meditate, they're good for more like trying that. So more like I started to do stand up meditation. Stand up meditation really the best one for more like from what I picked for right now. So yes, I do stand up meditation, but when I do my stand up meditation, they do more like a concentrated charge attack on me. So I've been hit more like a little, a lot. I've been nudged. I've been more like my top body more like been slinked back, and I usually pop up. But one day, more like they did a huge charge attack on me, and it was up there to the scale more like this man I just told you about being knocked to the room. I'm more like I was knocked all the way down to the floor, and the dresser on the first top drawer was cracked more like behind the impact more because of them. I managed to get back up more like quick, but the that tap was very similar to more like what that guy was talking about, more like the one he enchanted more like that demon, and and these one around me, they ain't no demons. These are more like negative spirits and negative psychic. So whatever more like tapped to him, what he believed more like was a demon, if he actually believed it was a demon, that was a negative spirit, a negative psychic. So you hear these stories, people getting knocked to the room, that's definitely a negative spirit, negative psychic doing a charge attack. And for my case, more like they like to gather more like lots of energy on me and then use it against on me. And there are a lot of different ways to them to want to steal your energy. But one way more like they like to steal energy is an energy drain vacuum technique right to the ear. I mentioned that more like in another video. If you want to know a little bit more about it, go into one of my other videos. It talks a little bit more about more like the energy drain vacuum like technique in the ear. But yeah, this is one of the many ways they'll steal your ear. So if you hear any stories out there, someone getting knocked to the moon and these things happen, yeah, don't think that's a demon. That's a negative spirit, a negative psychic. That demon name, when I have came across so far, is just part of more like the scam. Now, if I somehow do come across an actual demon, one of these days, I'll be out here to talk about that. And till I I won't be calling these things more like demons. I haven't came across a demon the whole time in spiritual awakened. Not one demon. I came across more like things try to get the illusion. They are demon. The vibration, they're a demon. The negative one feeling. They get all close to all the usual thing you would say that is a demon. But no. Going by my personal experience, there's a negative spirit, that's a negative psychic around you. So yes, definitely want to be aware of them posing at things, and be aware more like when they try to more pit themselves as high on the power meter and stuff, more like on TV, the very highest, they do try to act like they are that as well. I got that more like in a video as well to pit them to a test. So you watch that video and as well more like pit them to the test, and they try to cling like they are the highest category of TV or in books, that is more like that's what they are. Yeah, call them out and see what happens. Pit them to the test. And they somehow pass that test. I got more tests for you can try out on them. If they somehow pass that, but I slightly doubt they will pass that. Um, so yes, then be aware of these different people want me saying the different things. Talking about more like oh, this is this demon name, or that's that demon name, or that's that devil's name, or that's that devil's name. Yeah, be aware of these stories more out here. I mean, I haven't came across none of this stuff. I just been coming across more like the negative spirits and negative psychic more like posing as these many things. Repeat, posing as these things. So then be aware of that. Now, be aware of any section of the brain they are target to do anything on. So be aware if you feel anything don't feel natural. Then be aware of that. You need to mark it down, whatever section that is, how you feel, how you feel more like a of stuff. Now, so yes, definitely be aware of that. And be aware more like when you're talking as well, to get all involved with that. More like getting you to say different wrong things, forcing you to say wrong things, that pressing you so you can't say the correct thing. So then be aware of these things. There are plenty of things to be aware from them. Definitely not a natural thing. So yes. Now, when it comes down to the vibration, the waves, whatever the message they're trying to send to you, if you catch any spam, as in you keep on hearing this again, feeling, picking the same vibration, or the same, you getting the same message, whatever it is, if it's something more like every time you come across them, or you always want hearing that same message and spam, be aware of that spam. That spam could be could be exactly what they are trying to do to you. So definitely be aware of that. So if you keep on picking up these different things, that's not natural. That is a message in its own way. So yes, again, you cannot more like trust them for many categories and a long list of many other reasons. No, you just can't trust them. On that, I say that about more like I do it with this section of the video. So now I bring into more like the next section. And that brings us to the very next topic. And it is, how do you protect yourself from all the different types of attacks coming from you? How do you protect yourself? This is this next topic. Now, here goes some things you can directly do when it comes down to all the different attacks on you. You can start by more like listening at certain different more like sound waves and pick out more like certain music. This can as well more like really help out the vibration and waves and all that other stuff is going around to shift the vibration into more like a positive way. 396 hertz self frequency. I'm butchering that word. Can really more like help out in different ways when it comes down to balance the chakras out of the body. So that directly more like get you some 396 hertz frequency, that is, and more like or in play this and more like meditate with this. This is gonna really more like help you out. Focus on more like your chakras into your body, and it's gonna help you balance them all out. Okay, next you need to look up a song. It is called Weightless by Marconi Union. Scientifically recognized to reducing anxiety and mental flooding. It should really more like flood out more like all that negativity out of your system. So directly listen to that. Okay. Next, you need to look up a song by Kanye West, and the song is called Power. This gonna break through to them confident tasks and reclaim more like your power and authority when these attacks happen. So go play that song, relax and play it. Okay, for this next one, you don't really need to look up a music artist. You need to look at more like a sound frequency on sound. For this one, you need to look at more like 417 hertz. Undoing situation and facilitating change. Useful for clearing the overthinking trap and the loophole thoughts. Okay, now we're going to go back into you looking up a track. Look up Thunder by Imagine Dragons. A high vibration anthem for focusing on overcoming distraction control. So definitely play that out. That's going to help you out when you're being distracted by things. You need to look up another track. This one called A Rival of the Birds by a cinematic orchestra. To reconnect with the sense of wonder and break through the emotional numbness attack. Alright, time to look up another track. Look up Rise by Herb Alpert. A smooth, confident instrument that cleanses the atmosphere of energy drainage. The observer technique. When mental pressure and confusion hit. When this tech hits, you need to use this technique. It will help you out. You need to stop right then and then ask yourself, is this thought mine? Or am I just perceiving this thought? So stop and ask yourself that question. Often identify a thought as an outsider influence to weaken the power over you. So definitely more like identifying more of that thought. Is it yours or is it not yours? So definitely take a moment to ask yourself that question. Now the next thing you can do, get you go to the bathroom and get you some salt and more like take your bath into it. And this is more like the salt and water cleansing. This can really help out a lot when it comes down to these energy drains and the different more like sleep influence over you. So definitely go for that more, that salt and water cleansing. It helps out. Now when you're doing this, get yourself some sea salt when you're taking that bath. Another thing you can do as well, get yourself a glass of water and pour some salt water into it. And have it right beside your bed and go to sleep beside it. Now when you wake in the morning, do not drink the salt water. Just pour it out. Boundary visualization. You need more like a visual, a protective, more like shield around you. And as nothing can get through your impenetrable shield. Anything come near it, it reverts back to more like where it came from. It cannot get to your impenetrable shield. Grounding, earthing, impulse control, and overthinking. It can happen when you are top heavy. You got too much energy in your head. The best things you can do when this happens, you need to more like take off your shoes, your socks, and head outdoors and walk barefooted for 10 minutes. This is definitely going to help you out where all that energy has more like built up into your head there. Get some good groundedness in that day. Hold a black piece of turmeric or obsidian to help anchor your focus back to the physical world. These two stones really helps out. So if you don't have them, get them. Next thing is good for more like doing some affirmation or circuit breaker. Now this is going to help to interrupt the conference attack with a short spoken command. Sound vibrate the air and clears out the room. Try this information. I am the soul and the authority in this space. I release all energy that do not serve my highest good. Maintaining the mental consistency is key. When you feel that drain sensation, do not wait for it to pass. Change your physical environment immediately. Open up a window. Light some incense like sage upon a sandal. Or you could just simply move to a different room to break that negativity loop. This will help you out with all these different control tasks on you. So definitely try them out. And if you managed to last this long into the video, and if you have gotten anything out of this video, hit that like button. Drop something into the comment. And of course, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. On that, I am official Mystic Veil. I return all that is yours to you, and I take all that is mine to me in peace. I'll catch y'all next time.